From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
I talked about this earlier in the newscast. You remember how last July started as the heat wave really cranked up and it got pretty brutally hot compared to how this July has started, especially these last couple days here with the cloud cover and the rain and the much cooler than normal temperatures. I'm a fan of it. I know other folks that want the summer heat or maybe getting a little impatient, but trust me, that will be back eventually. So those that want the cooler air, certainly I'm going to go ahead and guess have been happy these last couple of days. And we've had some good rains as well, which we definitely need, as you know, given the ongoing drought. There's more on the way. Jinx, it's still a cloudy look here. Now to the north and west, skies are starting to clear out a little bit more. Also portions of southeastern Oklahoma. So we'll see those sun breaks kind of make their way back into the area for the late day hours. But of course, with the cloud cover, it is still extremely comfortable by July standards, or frankly, any time of year. I think low 70s is pretty comfortable, pretty much no matter what the calendar reads, but particularly when we're used to how hot it's supposed to be right about now. Storms still lingering, but kind of falling apart across LaFleur County. These are south of our viewing area into McCurtain County. Those are severe thunderstorms. And again, I point that out because there's enough heating of the day going on that as we head through the afternoon, I do think that southern Pittsburgh, Latimer, LaFleur County, there's at least an opportunity that we could see an isolated strong to severe storm pop back up in our far southern counties, more than likely to be closer to the Red River. The rest of us, rain chances are as expected on a downward trend for the rest of the afternoon hours. Now we're going to focus back to this north and west later tonight, really back up towards kind of the eastern portion of the Rockies, coming off of out of eastern Colorado into western Kansas. This is where a complex of thunderstorms that should be relatively intense will form up late today, come diving south and east tonight, and by early tomorrow morning, that complex makes it back into our side of the state, and that will bring that next round of rain and storms. What's happening here is the upper level flow continues to steer these complexes of storms in. We've got what we call northwesterly flow, which means northwest to southeast flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere that's just kind of diving around the heat dome, upper level ridge here that really cranks up the summer heat. As long as it kind of stays fashioned the way it is right now, we'll continue with those chances for complexes of storms rolling through, and it'll continue to suppress the summer heat. Now next week, the heat dome may try to make a recovery, but there are signs that it may try to back off again as we head towards mid to late next week. Long and short of it is, as long as that heat dome is not really kind of centered right on top of us, especially if it's off to our west, that will allow some cooler temperatures to sneak in at times and continue chances for rain and storms. So today's storm complex, and that was this morning, fading away. But tomorrow morning, and then Saturday morning, and then Sunday morning, we've got more chances on the way, more likelihoods of storms, and at times some could be strong to severe. And the longer we go with these storm complexes, of course, the flooding threats will start to increase as the grounds get more saturated. Highs today, generally low 80s as we break out some sun breaks. Again, here's what I mentioned. If we get enough heating going this afternoon in southeastern Oklahoma, Latimer, LaFleur County could be an isolated strong storm during the late day hours. Shouldn't be a whole lot, but we'll keep an eye out for that. Looks like overnight tonight is pretty quiet, and then here comes that next round of storms tomorrow morning. The timing on this one may be a couple hours later than what we had this morning, so right now it looks like this may be more towards as opposed to kind of the pre-dawn hours near or after sunrise through the mid to late morning hours. And if it's kind of holds together, keep its act together from a strength standpoint, this would have a little bit higher potential for some damaging wind gusts, maybe some large hail embedded in that line of storms tomorrow morning, maybe slightly stronger than the complexes of storms we've had the past few days. That will move out, and then highs tomorrow still below normal in the mid 80s. So plan tomorrow morning to be kind of bumpy and stormy again, and then Saturday morning, Sunday morning, there's a reasonable possibility that we continue that process as far as morning storms go. Mid 80s and still below normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then early next week, it looks like, at least for a few days, the more typical summer heat will try to return.